First, I'm going to welcome my co-host, Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series. He is the owner of Hollow Man Publishing and American Made VA. Paul, how are you? And I know you're excited about our guest.
I am. I'd like to welcome Dr. Cliff Robertson Jr. To our show today. He is a keynote speaker. He is a corporate trainer. He is an author. He is a counselor and leadership consultant. He does it all. So we want to talk about that. Welcome,
Thanks for
welcome,
stopping
Doctor.
by, Dr. Cliff. Appreciate it, sir. So you bring that teaching game almost in the education field. Is that how you started? Is that how you started to get to this brand today through education?
Well, it's a privilege and honor to be here today. I'm so glad to be a part of this, and thank you so much for having me on.
So I was asking the question, Dr. Cliff, did it start out in education? Your whole move, like, were you in school districts at first, or starting in what you did?
No, actually, absolutely not. But I am an education junkie. I have a friend that tells me I have more degrees than a thermometer. But while I'm an education junkie and I love education, no, my process actually started with working for corporate America. I've worked for Michelin, I've worked for Bank of America, and a couple of other places, and moved out of that into more of the nonprofit world. And now I'm kind of back, so I've kind of been around the world a little bit. Um, and I've just seen, after a few years in the trenches all the way through, I've kind of seen, a whole variety of different things. And my personal mission is to help as many people as I can. But no, education, working in education,
What is your ultimate mission of helping people in what way?
Well, one of the things that I know as a mental health professional is that self-esteem is a killer, quite literally, especially in our social media world. It's amazing and how that impacts our productivity, our creativity when it's down in the toilet. We're suffering, we're struggling to get out of bed in the morning. I refer to it as the 800-pound gorilla that won't get off my chest. And what I try to do is help people see that they have value beyond what they can even begin to imagine, and that value can, the recognition of that value can begin to change their mindset and go from there. And that brings into leadership, and we could just go on and on. But yeah, that's where it starts. Is just with the person.
It definitely with the person. So that's how you kind of decided to coach and become a coach and a speaker and stuff, is the mental health world, really helping people through these challenges, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, when the thing that some people try to do is they try to say, well, you're just this, or you're just that, and the truth is, it's all interlinked from, inspiration, motivation to leadership and emotional intelligence, and if you do it right, you can wrap those things together, and really come through with something that is lasting and that transcends both your work life and your personal life, and create a better life overall. And that's really where I'm headed.
All right. So tell us about it. Do you do speaking? What books do you have any books? And tell our listeners. Yeah.
I do. I've spoken around the country. I guess because of my time in the military, I've also spoken around the world, just in different capacities. Obviously, I was an air traffic controller in the Navy during Desert Storms, so I've kind of been there, done that. But yeah, I speak to companies, I speak to school districts, colleges, and I do have several books. One is my personal memoir called Transformed. I have another one out called Your Life Matters. And I have another one getting ready, 45 days hitting the streets, called Anything is Possible, the Masterpiece Mindset. And I have another one on in the works, but we won't talk about that one yet. But yeah, that's where I am. And I'm just excited to be on here and talk to you guys. And you know, it's uh, it's important that our lives aren't just focused on ourselves. It's focused on how we can make a difference for others.
And what is your book's theme really about mental health? Your memoir, does that really kind of talk about your life and how you made your transformation in life?
Yeah, transformed is really, my story from, young to, um, at one point in my life, a little over 20 years ago, I lost my fir- first wife and little girl in a car accident. How that impacted me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I wanted to end my own life. Things got really bad for me. I made some really bad choices that led me to a very dark place. And from that dark place, finally I looked up, and faith brought me through it and helped me thrive and become someone I never thought possible. And that's why I'm here today.
That's fantastic. And so that's where, when people hit rock bottom, what do you recommend they do? You losing your wife and your child, and how painful that experience was. What had you come out of that corner to get out of that? And how do you recommend other people that are hitting that rock bottom point based on specific things that are out of their control?
Well, I will tell you that when I was going through it, I did everything wrong. Everything you could possibly do wrong, I did, with short of ending my own life, and that would have been the ultimate wrong thing to do. But I did everything wrong, so I learned every lesson, and every lesson there could be in that moment, just about. And saw is that one, it's important that we surround ourselves with the right people. You surround yourself with the right people, and you have the right kind of support. They don't necessarily have to understand it, but if they're there for you and with you and will walk with you through that dark time, things get better. And then, you know, it's important that we grab a hold of something, faith, belief, wherever you are. For me, it was faith. I have a strong Christian faith, or I do now. Then I didn't, but I found it there. And I got to tell you, while it didn't change my circumstances right away, it began to change me. And I realize everybody looks at life differently. That worked for me.
It definitely sounds like it worked for you, and to really use faith as the way to get through, because there's so many people going through certain things, but you have to keep yourself busy, right? You have to have a mission that you
You
wake
have
up
to have a
every day
mission.
to prove something, that this is for you. This is your real deal. And I think that's hard for people that work for somebody, unless they really take that ownership in that job that they work, that they have to figure out something for themselves, something that really drives them every day. And I can tell that's what drives you every day, is what you're doing to help others.
Well, it does, and it's important to have that mission. But one of the things that that you touched on, that's really important to differentiate. Sometimes people will just stay busy as a form of medication, and that's not healthy. We need to have that strong why. And that's actually my book that I didn't talk about, that's coming out next, after Anything is Possible, is building a better why. Because people just staying busy, well, oftentimes it's a narcotic that when it goes away, we're back down in that hole and we're worse than before. But if we're focused on the right mission, we have the right kind of structure around us that's also keeping us busy, but in a positive, moving forward way, that will make the difference.
It totally will make the difference. And that's great to hear that you figured that out and help others. Are you coaching individually as well as your books, or just speaking? What's
I
going?
do some coaching. I do some, I would call it, when somebody calls me and wants some coaching, it's not something I actively go after on an individual, on an active marketing basis, but have people reach out to me. Have leaders and sometimes pastors and people who want to build a business, or who are going through the pit themselves, want to pull back out, and I will coach them individually, and we work out those details in the moment. But yes, it is something that I do when I have, I consider it a privilege and an honor to do it. But yes, I do.
And then also you're doing the speaking
And
events, and
I
also,
also do a lot of what I would call team and group work with companies. And right,
okay,
right. It's all tied together.
no doubt, for sure. Where's the best place people can find information on you, learn more about you? Where can they go? Where's the best place we
Sounds
can
like
find
we're having some.
info? Yeah, you're really moving slow. Where's the best place information we can find information on you and stuff?
Yeah, the best place to go is my website, which is drcliffrobertsonjr.com. I have I have a blog that's updated daily, and it also connects to some of my videos that I've done, some of my own podcasts that I'm doing, and some of the keynote speaking and trainings that I have are all listed there. You can also find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Dr. Cliff Robertson Jr. Is the name, and I'm also on X. I'm not really super active there, but I'm working on fixing that.
All right. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.